in our today's session of Visual JForex, we will be getting familiar with the mathematical indicator named TSF. That is the time series forecast. This is an indicator based on the linear regression. Here we plot the linear regression for each time period using the least square method. This is part of the mathematical series, and here comes the TSF. We will plot this on the chart, and we will also add this on the Visual JForex platform board to explain to you how we can utilize these indicators for our trading system development. We can use this indicator in multiple ways. We can use these indicator in the ways very similar to the moving averages as well. This is an linear regression analysis based tool, and it's very popular among the traders as it gives the futuristic trading directions. We can identify the trend of the underlying instrument, and we can try to kind of anticipate what kind of direction the price action will take in coming time periods. So here, this is a brief description. This is a linear regression calculation that plots each bar's current regression value using the least square fit method. And if you want more details regarding its formula and all, then of course you will have to do a bit more search on the search engine on internet, and you will get those details. For us, the calculation will be done by the automated setup, so all we have to do is plot the indicator on the chart and see how we can use that indicator. So here we have to do the quick search. We add it, the time series forecast. We have now time series forecast plotted on the hourly chart for the 50 time period. Let us edit it a bit, and we increase the width so that the indicator is clearly visible to you. Now, as you can see, it tries to plot the value which is pretty much closer to the price action. Here, as you can see, we have the price action moving upward in a bullish tendency. Usually it is considered that if the price is trading above the the TSF time series forecast, that means that underlying instruments trend is bullish, and if the price is trading below this time series forecast tool, that means that the underlying instrument is in the bearish phase. And as I have observed many times on the chart, if you use a combination like that the time series forecast is going down, the values are moving lower and lower, and the current value is lower compared to the prior values, and the values are declining. And at the same time, if the price action is below this time series forecast tool, then the underlying trend is bearish, and we should be looking for sell trading opportunities. And similarly, if the time series forecast output values are on the rise, and also the last hours closing value, now that we are dealing with the hourly time frame, or if the price action is above this time series forecast output, that means that the underlying instruments sentiments are pretty bullish, and we should be looking for the buy trade. And this analysis works very well most of the time. Of course, it won't work every time, but it works well most of the time. And as I said here, the problem can also arise if the underlying instrument is entering the consolidation phase. Then this kind of scenarios might emerge where the price action is kind of sideways, and we don't really get clear signal. So we have to guard against that as well. But as you can see from the chart, this is an indicator which moves pretty close to the price action, and it is not having much lag like the case of various moving averages. So that's why this is a tool which is pretty handy if we are going to trade with the direction of the trend, and it given the fact that it has a very low lag between the change in its direction compared to the price action, we can use these to trade with the trend. So let us now go back on the Visual JForex platform board, and here we have to customize the TSF block as per our requirement. Let us change the default instrument to another instrument of your choice. For today's session, we change it to say gold. Gold is pricey these days. It has been trading closer to US dollar 2000 per ounce level. Now it is trading a bit below that, but still the momentum is strong. So let's see how this indicator will work on the gold. So let me find the gold. It's a tricky job here. We have to. Okay, I have found the gold. I have got the gold. And now let us change the instrument in the chart as well. Here comes the gold in terms of dollar. So we have the price at 1948 USD per ounce, and as you can see we had this trend change around 2000 levels. The TSF value started to go down and the price action was also on the lower side, and then eventually we got the fall, and now here we are pretty much into the consolidation phase. But as I said, that if we simply use this combination of the price action being above the TSF, and then the TSF values also start to rise, that is kind of pretty much indicative of the change in trend, start of maybe even bullish trade. But as you can observe here, we might not have made much money, and instead it might have hit the stop loss if our stop loss was above this 1910 level. So such things can always happen, as you can observe from this charting as well. We have the moves which are kind of sideways in such scenarios. These won't that well, but of course during such times all we have to do is minimize the trading losses and devise the ideas, and also add some other indicators if the need arises, to build an system which will be able to cope with this sideways momentum as well. But and here this is a tool which is pretty useful. And now going back to the Visual JForex board, we have to customize these values on whatever time frame. For example, if you want to use the 4 hourly time frame, or half an hourly, or 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whichever, all you have to do is choose this time period value and you will have it. So now we are defining the TSF for gold in terms of 30 minutes. So let us change that value, this hourly time frame, to 30 minutes. We have this. Now it's taking a bit of time to load the chart. Okay, we have got the chart now. And half an hourly is responding pretty early compared to the hourly. And now here, I think this time around we might have made the money if we had gone in with the setup that we should look for the buying opportunities whenever the TSF values start to rise after being in the falling range, and also the price action is above. So if we were looking for scalping opportunities here, that might have pretty much worked. But if you were looking for the longer time frame, then it won't work. And for the longer time frame, for larger stop loss and target probabilities, you also have to use the larger time frames like 4 hourly. Pardon me. So depending on which time frame you use for deploying this indicator, you will have those kind of trading opportunities. Lower the time frame, sharper will be your targets and stop loss levels. So now let us again see what customization we will need. If you want to compare the current value to the prior values, then all you have to do is take two indicator blocks of almost the same identical input values. Just the difference should be these shift the shift values, and then you will be able to plot this. You can even also deploy crossover kind of structure where you take two TSF values of different time frames and time periods, and then you plot them and you use the lower time frame and the higher time frame TSF values, and you can also use that crossover structure just the way we do for the moving averages. Suppose if now this TSF is of 50, if I plot new TSF of 100, we let us edit this. Sorry. So here we can use this crossover kind of setup. Whenever we see that lower time frame TSF value is crossing above the TSF value of longer time frame, we can look for the buying opportunities, and vice versa for the sale opportunities. If the TSF is crossing below the higher time frame, then we can look for the selling opportunities. So that way we can use this indicator. This is one of the setup which is possible with the TSF, and you can deploy it on the instrument of your choice and with the time frame of your choice. And of course, as I said, it is also going to work not that well when the price action is kind of range bound. So we have to be see and kind of find out the optimum setups, and for that we will need to do the observation and then trial and error kind of various attempt to figure out what is the optimum setup. So you get these output values after defining these input parameters. Depending on what are your input values, you will get the appropriate output values. If we make it 100, you will have the time series forecast plotted on the 100 time period of 30 minutes each. That means we are taking into account last 50 hours data output value you get, and you can use these output values for various conditions which need to be defined, or even you can use this for calculations in calculation expression block. Now coming to the settings, here we have to define on which side the calculation is to be done, on the bid side or on the ask side, and then the applied price, the closing price also needs to be defined, and you will have the different output values depending on what is your applied price. And now this indicator, as you can observe, is having the applied price of closing levels. If I change this to high price, you will see the TSF value moving higher. So here we will again change this TSF 100 high level to the low price. Now the TSF 100 has moved lower as we are taking into account the TSF calculated on the lower time frame, sorry, low value. Now for 50, if we use the same parameter, we will also see that 50 TSF value has also gone lower. So this is the way you can build on the automated setup using this platform developed by the bank, and I hope you will be design and develop and then test your own algorithm while using these various indicators which are supported and available on the platform. So that's it for today's session. Any of you, if have any query or any idea to share, you can write it in the comment section, and I would be pretty much happy to take the discussion forward. Before I sign off, I would also like to remind that, of course, trading is a risky business, and one should always be careful of the financial risk involved. See you tomorrow. Have a fabulous day ahead. Goodbye.